Dear children, welcome to biology classes. So, in the previous class, we were studying chapter 7 Diversity in Living Organisms, and in that, we have studied various criteria by which classification is done, like the cell structure, then whether the cell is single or the organism is single celled or multicellular, whether the organisms produce their own food or they have to depend on other organisms, isn't it? Then what is their body organization? All this were the criteria. And we have also seen the relation between classification and evolution. And then I taught you about the hierarchy of classification, that is, organisms are grouped into smaller categories, and the smaller categories, on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities, they are classified again into higher groups, isn't it? There are different categories, and the order of this categories also I have told, isn't it? Species, genus, family, order, class, phylum or division, and kingdom. So this arrangement of different categories or based on their ranks is called what? Hierarchical categories. Okay, hierarchy of classification. And I have told you, different scientists, they try to classify the organisms into different groups, and the most accepted classification is by R.H. Whittaker, and R.H. Whittaker has classified the organisms into 5 major kingdoms: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, then kingdom Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. And we have seen a small account of all these kingdoms. So this is an outline of 5 kingdom classification, where you can see organisms with prokaryotic cell structure, and those who are unicellular, they were grouped under the kingdom Monera. And if they are eukaryotes, and if the eukaryotic cell is, or the organism with eukaryotic and single celled, they were grouped under the kingdom Protista. And if they are multicellular, okay, again they are of different types, that is, if they are having cell wall and if they perform photosynthesis, okay, then it is Plantae. And if the cells or the organisms, if they are not able to do photosynthesis, then it will become a fungi. Okay, then the organisms without cell wall, they were coming under kingdom Animalia. So this is the outline of 5 kingdom classification. Is it clear? So already we have studied the different kingdoms of organisms, like kingdom Monera, which includes what? Prokaryotic and unicellular organisms. And the kingdom Protista contains eukaryotic and unicellular organisms. Fungi are organisms with which shows the heterotrophic nutrition and which do not have, they have cell wall and they shows what? Heterotrophic nutrition. Then Plantae are organisms with cell wall in their cells, and they are able to do photosynthesis. And kingdom Animalia, they include organisms which cannot do photosynthesis, they depend on other organisms for their food, and also they are eukaryotic. Okay, so like this we have seen different kingdoms and their specialities. Now we are going to study in detail about kingdom Plantae. Okay, so kingdom Plantae, when you see, you can see the kingdom Plantae is again divided into different groups. Okay, so the major feature of them are what? They are autotrophic and their cells are having cell wall, isn't it? Then this plant itself is divided into different groups based on certain characters. Okay, that is whether the plant body is well differentiated. So well differentiated means, see, if the plant, if you ask any one of you, if I ask any one of you, you may say what are the parts of plant, isn't it? You may say a plant contain root, stem, leaf, likewise. So these are what differentiated, different the parts of the plant. So if a plant is having well differentiated body parts, okay, the parts are well differentiated or it is not. So that is the first criteria which is used to classify the plants. Understood? So I told kingdom Plantae is again classified into different groups, and this is based on certain criteria. So the first criteria is what? Whether the plant body has well differentiated or not. Understood? Then second is if the plant body has special tissues for the transport of water and other substances. So you know, in plants, have you heard about xylem and phloem? Xylem are what responsible for the conduction of water and minerals, and phloem are used for the conduction of prepared food. So if these tissues are well differentiated or not, that is the second criteria. Okay, and the third criteria is whether the plant bears seeds. Okay, and if there is seeds, if the seeds are placed inside the fruits, so these are the criteria, okay, for the classification of kingdom Plantae into smaller groups. Okay, so once again I will explain what are the factors that are the criteria which differentiate the plant kingdom. First is whether the plant body is well differentiated. Okay, second is what? Whether the differentiated plant body has special tissues for the transport of water and other substances. And the third is what? Whether they bear seeds, and if so, the seeds are placed inside the fruits or not. So if you imagine a mango fruit, you can see the seeds are found inside the fruit, isn't it? Isn't it? So what for this fruits helpful for the plant? The plant produces mango fruit for us to eat? No. They are protecting their seeds, isn't it? So that it will get, if you take mango fruit, then the plant is making sure that the seeds will be dispersed to different distances, so that it can ensure that their progeny will be formed. They are ensuring that their species is what there in the earth, isn't it? So like this, whether the plants are having seeds or they are placed inside the fruits. Is it clear? So these are the criteria by which the plant kingdom is divided into different groups. So when we take the first criteria, that is whether the plant body is well differentiated. So I hope you understood what is the meaning of well differentiated. The body parts are having leaf, root or stem. Okay, so like this, if they are well differentiated or not, that was the first criteria, isn't it? So when we consider this, there are certain plants which are not having well differentiated body. Understood? So this kind of plants are coming under a group known as Thallophyta. Is it clear? So what are thallophytes? The plants whose body is not differentiated into root, stem and leaf. Okay, so that kind of plants or their body is known as thallus. Okay, thallus, and from that only the name Thallophyta is got. Okay, and the plants in this groups, okay, means the plant which is having no clear stem, root, or the leaves. They are known as, they are coming under Thallophyta, and their plant body is known as thallus. And have you seen this kind of plant where you cannot see root, stem and leaf? Yes, there are some plants which are growing in water currents and all. Have you seen in water bodies, green mass of filamentous type of things are growing? These are actually examples of this, that is thallophytes, and they are known as algae. So algae are what they are thallophytes. Okay, thallophytes. So thallophyta contains what, or the organisms coming under thallophytes are what? Algae. Understood? And then these algae, where you can see mainly they are in they are found in aquatic habits. Okay, habitats. In aquatic habitats means in water bodies you can see them. Okay, they are not found usually in terrestrial conditions. Algae are mainly aquatic. Okay, and these algae are coming under which group? Thallophytes. What are thallophytes? Where the body is not divided into root, stem and leaf. Examples of them are Spirogyra. Have you heard? Otherwise listen carefully. They are Spirogyra, Ulothrix, Cladophora, Ulva, okay, Chiara, etc. So you can see some diagrams also here. Okay, see Ulothrix, Cladophora, then Ulva, then what? Spirogyra, Chiara. Okay, so these are examples of what? Various types of algae. Okay, what are they? Ulothrix, Cladophora, then I told what? Ulva, Spirogyra and Chiara. Okay, Spirogyra, this is Ulva and this is Chiara. Okay, so these type of, can you see it's a filament or thallus of Spirogyra? Can you see any root, stem or leaf here? No. In Ulva, what you are seeing is just like a leaf-like portion. It is not the leaf, it is the plant body. Understood? So this kind of organisms are coming under thallophytes. Then the next groups are bryophytes. Okay, bryophyta. So these terms might be new to you. So you please write it or you say loudly these terms so that you will not forget. Okay, so bryophyta is the next group where what happens, they are known as amphibians of plant kingdom. Okay, these kind of plants coming under bryophyta are known as amphibians of plant kingdom. Okay, the plant body is differentiated to stem and leaf like structures. They are actually not the real stem, not the real root or not real leaf. Stem like, they are thallus. Thallus is what? Undifferentiated plant body, isn't it? They are differentiated to stem like, leaf like structures. Okay, and there is no conduction, means tissues for conduction of water and minerals. Okay, so these are the important features of what? Bryophytes. What are they? They are known as amphibians of plant kingdom because they can live in moist conditions. Okay, they can grow in terrestrial. I told algae are completely aquatic. They cannot live on water at all. Okay, and bryophytes, they can live in what? Terrestrial conditions where there is continuous water flow. Understood? So they can live, but for their reproduction they have to depend on water. Independent life is not possible in land. That's what they are known as amphibians of plant kingdom. Then another speciality, what I said, they are having root like, stem like. Okay, they are not the real roots, not the real leaf, etc. Understood? And then I told you there won't be any conduction tissues. Okay, means xylem and phloem are the tissues which are helpful for conduction of water and minerals and food, isn't it? You might have studied. So these tissues are completely absent in them. Understood? The examples, various examples of bryophytes are Funaria. Okay, have you seen Markantia? Then Rixia. Can you see some what cottony green growth? Okay, green growth you can see where water continuously grows. Okay, so this kind of organisms are coming under the group what? The bryophytes. Is it clear to everyone? So we have studied two groups today. What are they? Thallophytes and the bryophytes. Hope this much is clear. We will continue in the next class. Thank you.